It was one of those mornings where the world felt strangely electric, like something big was buzzing in the air long before anyone knew why. Kelly Ripa woke up with that familiar spark in her chest, the kind she always got whenever she was holding on to a massive secret. Something exciting, something nostalgic, something that made her heart bounce like it did back when she first stepped onto a soundstage as a young actress, ready to take on the world. The aroma of fresh coffee drifted through her home, and Mark Consuelos, charming, handsome, and dramatically overconfident as always, was wandering around shirtless, pretending he wasn't trying to impress her for the millionth time. Kelly smiled at him with a look that said, "I know exactly what you're doing," but she let him have his moment. After all, part of the joy of their marriage was watching Mark behave like the world was his personal telenovela. This morning, though, Kelly had something on her mind that even Mark's theatrics couldn't distract her from. It was something she'd been keeping quiet, something that stirred both nerves and excitement inside her. Mark noticed instantly, because being married to Kelly meant he had mastered the art of reading every expression, every smirk, every secret grin. He narrowed his eyes playfully. "You're hiding something," he said, crossing his arms as if he were interrogating her. Kelly lifted her coffee cup like a shield and replied, "I don't know what you're talking about." Mark leaned in closer, lowering his voice. "Kelly Ripa, you have that look, the 'I know something the world doesn't know' look." He pointed at her with dramatic flair, "which means you're about to drop a bomb." Kelly tried to keep a straight face, but the corner of her mouth curled. She couldn't help it. The truth was bubbling inside her, and she was terrible at hiding excitement. Finally, after letting him suffer in curiosity for long enough, she took a breath and said softly, "It's about all my children." Mark froze. Slowly, his eyes widened, and then, in true Mark fashion, he gasped louder than necessary and grabbed her shoulders. "No, Kelly, don't play with me. Not with this. This is sacred." Kelly laughed, pushing him gently. "Relax, you dramatic man. I'm not playing." Mark stepped back, holding his hand to his heart like he had been personally attacked. "If you tell me this is a prank, I swear I will throw myself onto the floor and refuse to get up." Kelly took a slow sip of her coffee, savoring the moment. She had him exactly where she wanted him. Then she said the words that would send shockwaves through fans everywhere. "It might actually be happening." The room went silent. Mark blinked once, twice. "What might actually be happening?" he asked carefully, like a man trying not to hope too much. Kelly placed her cup down and grinned. "A reboot, a real one, and this time, I'm involved." If Mark had been dramatic before, he became a full emotional explosion now. He gasped, he yelled, he spun around the kitchen like someone had just given him the secret to immortality. Kelly watched him with delight, laughing at how deeply invested he still was in the show that had introduced them to each other. Because that's what All My Children was for them, more than a TV series. It was the birthplace of their love story. It was where they first met, first flirted, first realized how powerful their chemistry was. For Kelly and Mark, that set had been the start of everything. And now the possibility of stepping back into that universe made them both feel like young dreamers again. Mark grabbed her hands dramatically. "Kelly, this is everything." She nodded, softer now. "I know." A few hours later, as the news quietly slipped into the entertainment world, the internet nearly broke. Fans who had loved the show for decades, fans who weren't even born when Kelly and Mark first appeared on it, fans who had kept old clips saved on their phones, everyone collectively screamed. Kelly watched the chaos unfold online with a mixture of pride and disbelief. She loved this world, loved the passion fans had for the stories that shaped them. But what the public didn't know yet was the reason she had taken on this reboot. It wasn't just nostalgia. It wasn't just Hollywood excitement. It was personal. Kelly had been feeling something missing in her life lately. Not something negative, just a quiet longing, a tug on her heart reminding her of where she came from. She had built an incredible career, evolved into a powerhouse in daytime television, and become someone millions adored. But part of her soul had always remained in Pine Valley, the fictional town that shaped her early years and gifted her the love of her life. And when the opportunity arose to bring that world back, she didn't hesitate. She wanted to honor the past, but also reinvent it. She wanted to create something fresh, something timeless, something fans old and new would fall in love with. Later that evening, Kelly and Mark sat together on their living room couch, scrolling through thousands of excited comments from fans. Every other message was a combination of nostalgia, screaming, crying emojis, and pure panic. Mark nudged Kelly. "I think you just woke the entire internet." Kelly grinned. "Good, they needed a little excitement." Mark laughed, putting his arm around her. "They're not ready." "We aren't either," she admitted softly, "but that's the fun part." They leaned into each other, sharing the quiet comfort that came from decades of partnership. Kelly rested her head on his shoulder, and Mark kissed her hair. It was a small moment, but one filled with warmth, a reminder that while the reboot was exciting, what mattered most was the journey they had shared. Kelly looked at him, her expression softening. "Do you ever think about those early days?" Mark's eyes softened instantly. "Every time I look at you." She rolled her eyes but smiled because he always knew how to turn simple moments into something romantic. He continued, "That show didn't just give me a job, it gave you." Kelly leaned in and whispered, "Well, get ready because it might just give us a whole new adventure." As the night went on, they talked for hours about their memories, their careers, their family, their dreams. They reminisced about the crazy wardrobe choices, the dramatic scenes, the wild storylines that made All My Children iconic. They joked about how young they looked in old clips and how over the top the acting was. But beneath the humor, there was something deeper. This reboot wasn't just entertainment, it was a revival of a chapter that meant everything to them. The following week, Kelly finalized her involvement. She worked tirelessly behind the scenes, reading scripts, discussing ideas, calling old cast members, brainstorming ways to honor the legacy without repeating the past. She wanted a modern version, one with heart, one that balanced drama with warmth, one that brought fans together again. And Mark, well, Mark was thrilled. He strutted around the house like he was preparing for a triumphant comeback tour, even though Kelly kept reminding him that he wasn't officially attached to the project yet. One evening, he handed her a self-written audition monologue, complete with dramatic pauses, emotional stares, and unnecessary heroic lines. Kelly nearly cried from laughing. She told him, "If you do this monologue on set, they'll cancel the reboot immediately." Mark placed a hand over his heart. "Art is subjective, Kelly." She kissed him gently. "Yes, and yours is very subjective." Through humor, love, stress, and anticipation, the project began to take shape. Kelly poured her heart into making something meaningful, something that would make fans proud. And when she finally went public with the official announcement, people lost their minds all over again. Social media erupted, news outlets buzzed, fans screamed. Kelly Ripa had done it. She had revived something beautiful, something classic, something unforgettable. And as she stood backstage the moment the announcement went live, Mark wrapped his arms around her from behind and whispered, "You did it. You brought our world back to life." Kelly smiled, her heart full. It's only the beginning. Because for Kelly and Mark, this wasn't just a reboot. It was a return to the place where their love story began, a place filled with memories, passion, chaos, and heart, a place that shaped them into the couple millions adore today. And now they were ready to share that magic again with the world.